Good afternoon. I'm Matthew Klempe. Today, I'm asking you to support one clear idea. Make a one-semester personal finance class a graduation requirement for all high schoolers. Now you may be wondering, why? What is the benefit of this? It's because our biggest monetary decisions hit us right after high school. And the cost of getting those first decisions wrong are huge. They can follow you for the rest of your life. The problem. Picture this. Your car needs a $400 repair. The Federal Reserve's 2025 report says more than 1 in 3 adults would have to borrow money, sell something, or couldn't cover it at all. A $400 emergency is not crazy. $400 does not get you far. Yet, over 1/3 of Americans cannot afford it. That is insane. At the same time, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York reports that 18 to 29-year-olds are missing credit card payments more and more often. Late fees, higher interest, lower credit scores, that spiral can start right after graduation and follow you to the grave. Why teach this in high school? Because our first big money choices arrive fast. First car, first credit card, first lease, maybe student loans. If you don't get scholarships, definitely those student loans. Imagine a senior named Jordan. Jordan gets a used car loan at 24% APR. Jordan doesn't even know what APR means, but he takes it. The monthly payment looks affordable on paper, but the interest turns a $10,000 car into thousands more than Jordan ever could have imagined spending on the vehicle that he chose. Add one missed payment, the credit score drops, the next rate goes up, and the cycle gets worse. Jordan isn't irresponsible. Jordan just wasn't taught how the numbers work. That's a problem we can fix. Does a separate personal finance class actually work? Yes, it does, and it's been proven. A peer-reviewed study at Urban, Schmeister, Collins, and Brown from 2020 looked at states that added a graduation requirement, because some states already have. Students who took the course ended up with better credit scores right after high school, and fewer late payments as young adults. That's a real-world outcome, a proven statistic, not just a quiz grade. And it isn't just one study. Meta-analyses led by Kaiser, Lusardi, Menkoff, and Urban from 2020 show that financial education raises knowledge and also improves behavior among students, though the behavior effects are smaller. The lesson is clear. Quality teaching matters. When trained teachers use strong materials, students learn, and they actually use it in life. Students don't need to be learning stuff like advanced calculus. How about some finance? How about something I can use when I'm out of this high school? That might help. Look at this trend. In 2021, 11 states required a standalone personal finance course. By 2025, 29 states do. This is becoming the new normal. It is growing across the nation. Districts aren't doing this because it sounds nice. They're doing it because it is actually proven to help students succeed in life. What do students actually learn in one semester? 4 essentials. 1. Budgeting and paychecks. How to read a pay stub, how taxes and benefits change take-home pay, how to build a realistic budget that works, stuff that actually matters. 2. Credit and debt. What APR actually means. Jordan could have used that. How minimum payments grow interest. How to build a credit score without getting burned in the long run. 3. Saving and investing. Emergency funds, index funds, the power of compound interest, stuff that will set you up for the rest of your life. 4. Major life purchases. Cars, housing, college, decisions that are all based on the total cost, not tricks built around a low monthly payment. Here's a quick rule that sticks. Start saving earlier and you need less. If you save $100 a month starting at 18 years old, time and compounding do a lot of heavy lifting, more than you would think. Waiting until 25 means playing catch up for years. Can schools actually realistically fit this in? Yes, they can. Districts usually place the class in social studies or CTE and phase it in so schedules and staffing adjust. The Council for Economic Education shows many states doing this at scale. What about cost? Well, curriculum and teacher training are widely available for free. Next Gen Personal Finance and EverFi offer standard-aligned materials and professional development for students. The Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia provides the keys to financial success through a high school course, materials, and PD at little to no cost, almost nothing. That removes a major barrier. Let's address 3 common concerns. Concern 1. Students can learn this at home. Yeah, some can, but not every family has the time or resources and are ready to teach credit, taxes, or investing. Not even all adults know that. That's why 1 in 3 Americans, actually more than 1 in 3 Americans, don't have $400 for an emergency. You cannot trust parents who weren't taught this to teach their children it. A required class levels the playing field for everyone, so every student gets a fair shot at life. Concern 2. It'll crowd out electives. Districts handle this by placing the course in social studies or CTE, accepting equivalents like dual enrollment, personal finance, and phasing in the requirement. Students still have room for electives. Concern 3. It's too costly. With free curriculum and PD, the cost is very low, little to nothing. The biggest step is the decision to schedule the class. So, here's the ask. Support a standalone personal finance graduation requirement, adopt a free standards-aligned curriculum, and offer professional development for teachers, pilot it next semester with a few sections, scale it the following year. Imagine every senior knowing how to read a pay stub, how to avoid a debt trap, how to build an emergency fund, and how compound interest can work for them, not against them. That's not extra. That's basic readiness for adult life. Today I drew on the Federal Reserve for the $400 emergency statistic, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York for credit trends, peer-reviewed research by Urban, Schmeisser, Collins, and Brown, and Kaiser, Lusardi, Menkoff, and Urban, and implementation resources from the Council for Economic Education, Next Gen Personal Finance, EverFi, and the Federal Reserve for the Bank of Philadelphia. Thank you for listening and for considering a policy that will make your graduates truly ready for life.